All right, this is not part 4. There is a problem here. Things are not jiving with the schematic. But anyways, there's supposed to be a 40 ohm resistor somewhere in here that goes to the speaker socket. Now, if you look at these wires here, they are original. There is no modifications on them. According to my note here, there should be a 40 ohm, actually a flex resistor, but there is none. There's only that one flex resistor, and that was a cathode resistor for the output tubes. There should be, to the speaker socket, plus there should be a 500,000 ohm resistor, a 2 meg, and a 10K, all on the speaker socket. I don't see any. Now the wires, if you trace up the wires here, and they go to this block here, first trying to look for the 40 ohm resistor. A 40 ohm resistor will be yellow and 2 blacks. So being it's a dog bone, the body would have to be yellow. The body on these are orange, not yellow. The end should be black, and the dot should be black. There is no 40 ohm resistor. Again, it's supposed to be a flex ohm. So there's either a modification or it's the wrong schematic for this radio. I've got several schematics. Bob Gibbons gave me a good quality with the, as I showed in the last video, with the resistor numbers and also a clear numbering system for the part location numbers. On these here, this here says 2M, so that would be 2000, not 2 meg, of course. And the body apparently looks like it's red. And that's way up. That went up to 4K. I scribbled on here. I can't write clearly because I can't write small. 4K. So it went up double. So the only thing I'm going to do is, first of all, there is no flex resistors in here either. It's supposed to have total of 3 flex resistors in this radio. There is no flex resistors in this radio. Now, if you look here, not where I hooked and pinched the capacitor, but you look here. That is an original connection on that coil. Okay, that's an original connection. That is an original resistor. What we don't know is this junction here, obviously, was this point at which the filter condensers go to, or one filter cap. And here it's supported in midair. Damn, everything's loose here. The chassis is going to fall over on the bench yet. It's very hard for me to show you things. By the way, this camera here is the JVC. The Samsung is a great camera that I got, the WB-2250F, but it does not do the close-ups as this thing does. But I was impressed with that camera for driving videos, and overall video quality is superb. But the close-ups, even at 3 or 4 inches away is nowhere near as good as this, as I can get right on top of things with this JVC. So these connections could be original over here, because that's suspended in there too. The capacitors I'm having a hard time reading. The capacitors numbering on the schematics are blotchy, but the resistors have been redone and able to read. So some of the location numbers are way off base here. I can't read them on the schematic. I'm at a big disadvantage here, a huge disadvantage. Because I got the schematic up on the computer, and I wrote down what it's supposed to be. There should be a 300K from the plate of the 6Q7 to the B plus filter caps. Okay, so let's take a look at the 6Q7 plate, which I'm going to have to get the tube manual out to see what pin it is. I'll be right back. Well, here's the base of the 6Q7. I can't see any resistor on there at all. I don't see it at all. There's my capacitors that I changed over here, but that's the 6Q. That's the base of the 6Q7. That is not the 6K6. The 6K6s are over here. 1 and 2, right there. Okay, this is the 6Q7. Pin number 3 is supposed to be the plate. I cannot see any resistor on that at all. I can't see anything. Alright, so now, this is the real pain, boy, having to do it this way. There should be the following. A 10K, a 2K, which they say is a flex, but there is no flex. A 300K, all on the B plus filter, which would be probably these. This would be probably the 2K that says 2M, but that's no flex resistor, that's a dog bone. Okay. Not sure what this one is. I haven't even tested it yet. I only tested these here and this one. This is the 15K. It reads 21K. It reads 21 in circuit. You know damn well it's gone up. I haven't made that video yet because I'm trying to get this thing straightened out. You know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to drive myself crazy with the schematic. I am going to replace part for part, and the way it is set up in this radio, the way it is, the problem I'm running into is using the schematic. It's totally driving me crazy because there's a big difference in the schematic compared to the radio. There seems to always be that problem because they make modifications and they don't update the schematic. So I could be here all year if I went by the schematic and making changes in the radio, and if I went by the schematic, the damn radio probably would not work. So rather than aggravate myself, do like I was originally going to do, test these parts, just hope that the colors aren't faded, retest them, whatever's off, replace. But before I do that, I have to go and see if I got these resistors in stock. If I don't, I'm not going to touch it. The radio will sit here until I can buy more resistors. I'm going to have to get them online, because my resistor inventory is terrible. I have a lot of resistors, but they're all half watt. 95% of my resistors are half watt. On another note here, one of my viewers had said to take 4 1500 ohm resistors, 1.5 thousand ohm resistors, put them in parallel. I didn't think I had that many, but I did. I used the half watt, so that should give me 2 watts. 4 half watts in parallel should give me 2 watts. At 371 ohms versus 375. That's very close. I do everything by experimentation. And what I just do is grab a bunch of resistors and keep trying it until I get the value. Because I'm no good at math. I can't figure it out. So I do everything by experimentation. So thank you to whoever that was. I can't remember people who said what. But you know who you are. Thank you very much for that. So we can get that 371 ohm resistor in there where the 375 was at. So that's not too bad. 4 of these resistors in a bunch here, that don't look too bad. I can live with that. All right, I got that resistor in there, so that's great. And I want to thank that viewer for giving me the idea of using 4 1500 ohm resistors in parallel to get me the reading I needed. Because I'd have been here all year trying to go through my resistors and figuring it out. Because there was a point where I was taking 2 1000 ohm resistors, I was only going down to 500 ohms. I tried 3 of them and I went to 333 ohms, not 1000 ohms, I meant to say. And it just didn't work out for me. So the end result is I'm going crazy with this thing, okay? So, like I say, this is not part 4. This is just kind of like an update and kind of like showing that in spite of what the schematic says and what the parts list even says, there is no other flex resistors in this radio. The only one that was in there was, where my finger's pointing, was right here, okay? There is none. There's a 2000 ohm resistor here, which says 2M. That don't look like a flex resistor to me, but it's original. So what I'm going to do, and what I've always done in the past, I don't know if this is factory or not. I think it is. I think this is factory just as sure as I know this is. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to fight around anymore with this thing. This is ridiculous. I'm going to put a terminal strip in here. I'm going to bring these, after I check them or whatever I have to replace, bring these down, put the 47 microfarad in place of the 40 that goes in here, and call it good. Because if I try to go by the schematic with the revisions that they obviously have done throughout the years, I'm never going to get this thing going. Do like I've always done on every radio. There's a 10,000 ohm resistor, I replace it with a 10,000. If it's a 2,000 ohm resistor, replace it with a 2,000. That's the way we're going to do it. But I have to check my inventory, so what I'm going to do is recheck these again, mark them down, the color codes, and mark the value it should be, and mark the value that it comes out to be. In this case, this is 15,000, it reads 21,000, so it's gone up, even though it's in circuit. Doesn't matter. It's not going to read 15,000 again when you take it out of circuit. There's no such way. Impossible for that to happen. If it reads high in circuit, it sure as hell is not going to read low when it's out of circuit. That is an impossibility. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to go 1 for 1 on this. I just have to get the code readings for this. Let me put my light on again here. This one here, I can't see, I see a body and I don't see a dot. It could be on the other side. I really don't know. So I don't know what that value is. And the schematic is driving me crazy because it doesn't match the radio. So if I'm not sure, and I'm in very high doubts, I should say, probably not the way I should be talking, but if I have any doubts about it, I leave it alone. As long as the radio works, that's it. So that's about it on this. I'm going to put this video together and get it out to you. So I'm jotting notes down, but the more I do this, it's not matching my radio. It's not matching at all. Okay, so again, we can't find the plate resistor 6Q7, which is pin 3. There don't seem to be anything on pin 3. I looked. My eyes, you know my eyes. The 6Q7, right here. This is the 6Q7. It's right up in there. And I can't find the plate. I'm not going to worry about it. I saw the pin, but it don't look like anything's on it. Okay, that's it, folks. We're going to move on. I'm going to put a terminal strip in. I'll do that off camera. And that will be on part 4. And we're just going to wing it. That's all. We're just going to wing it. And we're going to go value for value in this radio. And these caps up here, resistors, I keep calling them caps. Up here, there is no 40 ohm resistor in there. A 40 ohm resistor would start out with 4. I don't remember now. Hang on. Yeah, yellow, black, and black. So that would be a yellow body, black end, black dot. For 40 ohms. That's supposed to be a flex resistor. Maybe somebody removed it. I looked very, very carefully off camera. There is no yellow body dog bone. I don't see it. I don't see it. Okay. That's it, folks. We're moving on. You know that TV show, Moving On? You remember that, huh? Can't think of who starred in that. Sonny and Will, wasn't it? The song? I'm moving on. Hank Snow did that too. I'm moving on. Okay. You don't need to listen to my so-called singing. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, everybody.